You know, as I have sat back and watched the unfolding of the situation in Minnesota, I guess I can succinctly sum up my thoughts with a quote from Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness.
Things just got out of hand.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the understatement of the new year. Let's talk about it. So, since Nick Shirley has come out and exposed the fraud being perpetrated by the Somali community, our president has sent in ICE to eject those illegal Somalis that are the perpetrators of this fraud.
But it makes sense to me.
And of course, it's made the news that they were not welcome. There was a situation where a Holiday Inn refused to give them a place to stay. The mayor of, I do believe it is Minneapolis, telling ICE to get the fuck out of his city.
And I have a message for ICE. To ICE, get the fuck out of Minneapolis.
We had an incident where a woman attempted to run over an ICE agent and paid for it with her life. Now, I can take any of those incidents and spin it into its own separate video. But why? I want to look at the overall bigger picture. And it's not some super grand, far out conspiracy. It literally is something that you can look at and draw a logical line of reasonable deduction to a simple conclusion. And that is this: there are enemies of America that understand history. And that history is great empires do not fall from outside threats and forces. No. Throughout the history of humankind, great empires fall from within.
Preach!
Going back even to the Summer of Love, mostly peaceful protests
in Kenosha and into the early evening, which were largely peaceful demonstrations in the face of law enforcement.
There has been a very strong and illogical thing to me, and that is the calling for the abolishment of law enforcement. You remember Black Lives Matter. Remember defund the police. Remember that? And how the Black community was screaming, defund the police, defund the police. Now, growing up, I distinctly remember Black people saying, police don't come here. Police ain't never around when I need them. Where are the police? And now you're screaming, defund the people that you complain are not enough to be there when you need them.
It just don't add up!
And now you have ICE. And for the record, in case you didn't know, ICE isn't new. They may have changed their names. They're now Immigration and Custom Enforcement, which is what ICE stands for. ICE isn't new. They are a law enforcement arm. Their job is to protect the country from outside entities. And that goes to people and objects, pets even. That is the entire purpose of ICE. And it's being proven in Minnesota right now. You have an outside force, the Somali. Some may be here legally, some may not. But they are here, an outside entity, robbing the tax-paying citizens of the state blind. Now, you would think that with that, the people, the tax-paying citizens of Minnesota, would appreciate federal help to stop this nonsense. But they don't, which leads me to the bigger picture. There are outside entities fanning the flames, lighting the match to incite not only rebellion and resistance to law enforcement, but outright violence and threats. During and after the Summer of Love, there were ambushes on police officers across this nation. As you see here, yes, data from law enforcement organizations consistently show that ambush-style attacks on officers have increased significantly since 2020. Y'all remember what 2020 was, the Summer of Love? This trend is a major concern for the law enforcement community and has led to calls for increased officer safety measures and a change in the national discourse around policing. Even they know it. They've been vilified by the media. There has been no fair treatment of the police. There has been no counter argument to what the mob has been saying about police officers. Let's look at the key statistics and trends. Data compiled primarily by the Fraternal Order of Police and the FBI highlights this escalating pattern. The annual number of ambush-style incidents has shown an overall elevated risk since 2020, with fluctuations in specific years. 2020, 48. 2021, 107 police ambushes. 2022, 89. 2023, 115. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that? And more recently, there was an attempted ambush at an ICE facility here in my city of Dallas.
29-year-old Joshua John. We don't know anything about a criminal background. That's something we're going to have to develop as this continues to unfold. We can tell you that the Department of Homeland Security has said that the shots were fired indiscriminately at the building by John from a nearby rooftop. He was firing at the ICE building and sprayed that facility. One of the witnesses says there was as many as 20 shots fired.
That happened a few months ago. Why is that? What could possibly be causing that kind of incitement? And that's easy. Outside forces. You see, as much as people don't want to believe it, Trump is not your boogeyman. Trump is not your bad guy. He is one of the few people who know who the bad guys really are. And those people are those that hate America. You see, they have found a way to tear down America because they couldn't overpower us with force. They couldn't scare us to death with terroristic tactics. So what do? You do propaganda. You learn how to turn the people against its own nation. And that's what they have done. Don't you find it odd that all these protests are somehow able to vilify law enforcement, that thin blue line that separates chaos from civility? that separates rule from anarchy? Why is there a constant attack on law enforcement? First, it was local, then it became federal. Why is it this constant attack?
Good question.
Because, as I stated in the beginning, empires fall from within. You can't take an empire down from without, so you have to do it from within. And it starts by turning its people against them. And that's been done here. People, think about this. Let's say this out loud. The people of Minnesota, the tax-paying people of Minnesota, are being taken for billions a year. And the people that come in and try to stop it are the bad guys.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't. Not cool at all.
Going back to the George Floyd, we believe, black people in the community, there was always a joke that they won't come to our neighborhood because we're not white. There have been a whole bunch of skits, and probably based in truth, that when you call 911, you got to sound like a white person to make them come faster.
I came fast like 911 in white neighborhoods.
And with that being said, you want to defund that? So you're complaining that there aren't enough police, so your answer is to get rid of more?
And they are so dumb.
Libtards, you do understand that the contradiction here is they tell you, they being the mainstream media and whatever blind blue libtard you follow, tells you that white supremacists and white supremacists and all this Nazi fascism shit, that's the greatest threat to you. You do understand that it is the law enforcement, that stops all these quote unquote fascists and white supremacists from punching you motherfuckers in the street. It's the law that stops them from rocking y'all ass every time you got a pocket. It is the threat of jail and being arrested that stops them from throwing y'all out of a fucking window.
No, he's got a point.
And that's what you want to get rid of. That the law that stops that's actually saving your ass. That's what you want to get rid of. The elites are using you. You're pawns.
Let's take it down!
In chess, the pawns go first.
You're nothing more to them than pawns. You don't see them out there like that. Oh, they talk big. But are they on the front lines? Are they the ones getting in law enforcement's face?
Fuck no!
Do you know why? It's because they know better. They don't want to put themselves in harm's way. That's what you're for. Remember, pawns go first, and you're a pawn. They're not gonna do that. They'll let you take the fall for all their dirty work.
That's why the pawns go first.
And then they'll use you as somewhat of a martyr, as a rallying cry. Do you understand that if you got rid of law enforcement, what y'all are doing, if you got rid of ICE, if you got rid of local law enforcement, that means you are literally leaving the law up in the hands of people that I guarantee you don't want law enforcement to be left in the hands in. You'll create a community, a city, a state full of bad men overnight.
Yeah, that's a good point.
People will become vigilantes and take the law into their own hands. Is that what you want? Considering that you say that they're all Nazis and white supremacists and all that, is that what you really, really want? I don't think so. Because if it was, if you understood how much the law is protecting you and letting you be a moron, you would not be calling for the abolishment of the law. You would not be standing in the way of law. Hey, do y'all remember this? Studies on the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone in Seattle. Remember during the whole George Floyd thing that Antifa took over and made an area around the Capitol in Seattle an autonomous zone, which meant no law enforcement. We're going to police ourselves. It was called the autonomous zone. This is what it says. In Seattle, during its 2020 occupation, show a significant increase in crime, particularly violent crime, compared to control areas, with one study noting a 132.9% higher crime total in the immediate zone and notable rises in the broader precinct, highlighting challenges when police presence is withdrawn. Specific increases. Studies indicated significant crime increases started as early as the first week in the broader 2-block area. In the first week, crime shot up. And that's what y'all want to get rid of. You see, this study, if people forgot about the autonomous zone, because the autonomous zone, the libtards want y'all to forget about. They don't want y'all to know about. We have an example of what happens when the police leave an area. And it's frightening. And I want to show you something else to really emphasize how bad that got. The headline says it all. Seattle rape cases moved to back burner, police insiders say. Now you may be asking, why? Tuck, why? Here it is. In 2022, reports from the police insiders and advocates indicated that Seattle police were struggling to investigate new adult sexual assault cases, effectively moving them to the back burner due to severe staffing shortages, defund the police, and a prioritization of other more visible crimes. The mayor's office and police leadership acknowledged the problem and pledged to address it. That's what happens when you defund the police. That's what happens when you let people solely police other people. They have an example. They have a sample of it. And these libtard idiots in Minnesota still want to buck the law enforcement. I don't get it. These people of a certain class, the wealthy, the elite, they tell you, oh, defund the police. Oh, defund the police. Oh, this is so wrong. Who do you think will be affected more by the abolishment of law enforcement? The middle class to lower class or them? You're damn right. It'll be us, the middle class. Because they live in their gated communities. They have security to protect them. But you idiots follow these people. Listen to these people blindly. Because I don't see one of them out there throwing Molotov cocktails, throwing rocks at riot shields. They're not the ones getting their hands dirty. And I'm sorry for that lady in Minnesota who died. But she's just a pawn in a much bigger game and didn't even recognize it. All these people that are out here talking noise, all these people that are standing in front of law enforcement don't understand. They think it's, oh, the most that's going to happen to me is I'll get tased or I'll get locked up. No, it's not. She should be a warning to make all of you idiots think this isn't a game. It's not. And if it is, it's a stupid game. And do you know what happens when you play stupid games? You win stupid prizes. And regretfully, she won a stupid prize. She was in a fuck around part of town and had a find out result. I don't understand why you don't see it. Why don't you stop and ask yourself, why are we fighting law enforcement? Why are we literally fighting the law? They are here because America has a law. You cannot be in this country illegally. You don't have to like it. You don't have to love it or vote for it. But it is the law, so you have to accept it. If they're here illegally, then you have to go. You get right or you get gone.
It's just that plain and fucking simple.
But instead, it's happened time and time again. You people you really buck the police. You buck law enforcement. And how does this tie in to the outside enemies? Is because, number one, they have the people. They have you idiots believing that fighting law enforcement is the thing. Fighting your country, turning against your country is an intelligent thing to do. And you turn against the country, you turn against law enforcement. So now that thin line, that barrier that would protect us from foreign entities and enemies is now gone. I don't understand what you don't understand, because you think those that want America gone are going to come here and shake your hand and treat you fairly and give you cookies and rewards. They're not. You are nothing more than a pawn, a means to an end.
And that's it.
Those people that hate America are laughing right now. They are enjoying this. And they are preparing for that moment that if you libtards get your way and things go to shit, they'll come in and crush you too. You're not their friend. And you're being used happily, gleefully, freely, because you think you're fighting for this great and just cause that doesn't really even exist.
It's all a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is?
No, fugazi. It's a fake.
Yeah, fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not fucking real.
Don't get in the way of law enforcement. Don't fall for the bullshit propaganda. Well, that's all I got to say on this particular topic. If you like the video, click the like button. If you like it and want to hear more, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and you will be notified every single time I upload a video. But most importantly, I ask that you leave a comment. Share me out there. Love me, hate me, agree or disagree. Let's get a conversation going. I thank you for your time. And once again, this is your man, Big Brother Tucker, reminding you to always stand up, stand out, think differently. And I'll holler.